Free-to-play FPS games are becoming more and more popular now. One of the biggest surprises of the last week, Shatterline. The game is heavily focused on its multiplayer features, so there is not a solid storyline, at least not yet. But that may change in the becoming builds of the game over the next few months before the final release. However, that also puts us in a predicament because there is not enough of story to discuss in this review. It is the gameplay where the title shined the most during our Shatterline review. So get your popcorn and be subscribed to our channel. We're starting. As for the setting, the game takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity has been infected by a deadly virus. The virus is actually from outer space and has transformed humans into crystalline infected entities. It is a cosmic attack on a planetary that happens in a Shatterline, and you as a player must fight against these infected in an amazing FPS experience. There are two different game modes in a title that we got to play as part of our Shatterline review. A PvE mode known as Expedition, in which you group up with two other players and take on hordes of enemies in a roguelike experience. And a PvP mode, known as the Versus mode, is another fun shooting experience much like Apex Legends, however on a much smaller scale. There are different characters known as operatives that you can choose to play with in both modes. These characters differ in having unique and special perks, gadgets and weapons. You can even experiment around with almost 25 weapons currently. As for the PvE mode, you queue with two other players in a group of 3. There are matchmaking options available, so you can play this with 2 randoms or friends. You work in a group and take on waves upon waves of different enemies while preparing to fight a boss at the end. Death can lead to your rewards getting halved and the whole level getting restarted, which adds to the roguelike experience in the game. Blueprints and credits can be earned by playing the PvE mode as well. Blueprints can be used to craft new weapons in the multiplayer mode, whereas credits are used to unlock attachment slots for your weapon. PvP is where Shatterline shines. Amazing game modes and 2 maps on release now will get you on coin. First impression I got was, is it the new Black Ops? And it's not surprised. The game has Ukrainian developers who worked on the same codes and Warzone. Also you have feeling of Apex and a little bit of Overwatch, with its guide tent mode called Escort. You also have Conquest, TDM and Plant the Bomb modes. In Conquest, you have to control different objective areas while fighting off the enemy team. Whereas in an Escort you have to deliver a vehicle to a market location while fighting the opposing team. However, you can choose to play in either defense or offense as well. The deathmatch is the most fun mode to test out different weapons and operatives in the game because it is also the most traditional. There is additionally a weekly barricade mode in the game as well that can be played in PvP. It is basically a build and survive mode that incorporates multiplayer FPS mechanics. The gunplay is extremely smooth and quite similar to some AA shooters like Call of Duty and Battlefield. That is quite an achievement for a free-to-play game. Also, the game might feel like another genetic arcade shooter. The moment-to-moment gunplay is extremely refined. Traversal mechanics are also really responsive, and you can crouch, slide, and do most of what any other shooter might offer. Overall, the gunplay is great, that is additionally paired with a good movement system. Shatterline also has a battle pass. There is a free and paid version of it as well. The paid version provides better rewards and the rewards unlock faster compared to the free version. So you can expect some form of microtransactions in the game, which are generally present in almost all free-to-play games. Shatterline is a more cartoonish looking, it comes to graphic, but that's not a bad thing. It gets the job done for a fast-paced FPS and the visuals are fairly serviceable. Don't expect anything extraordinary, but what is here gets the job done. It will also work on a wide selection of GPUs, which is always good. As for the performance, the game is still in early access and you're bound to come across bugs and glitches. The developers will surely continue to improve the game more and more down the line. I tested the game out on my RTX 1060 and encountered no no major performance problems to speak of. Everything I did see was due to server issues, but that's kind of a mixed bug right now. Again, this game is in early access. Shatterline is an amazing free-to-play FPS that can be played in PvP or as PvE with other players. It is additionally a roguelike game that provides quite a challenge in its PvE mode. The gameplay is top tier and fast-paced, however the amount of content is still limited right now. The PvE mode does not have a definitive storyline and there is not enough variety in the maps in PvP as of yet. Some of the weapons and operatives' abilities also need to be balanced immediately. Aside from that, the game is a solid FPS that is not only free but also provides an amazing roguelike experience. Together with COD Beta, this game is in FPS charts right now, and we're recommending you to try it now. You will enjoy it. Thanks for watching and we will see you on a battlefield.